Like, you can't think about things that you feel like you should be grateful for, but you're not actually feeling grateful for in the moment. Instead, focus on things that actually make you happy. Hey y'all, what's going on? Athena Amoeba here to talk about goals for September and goal setting and life in general. Before we get into that, I have a couple of things I would like to say. Number one, if you are new here, if you're a new subscriber, welcome and thank you so much for subscribing. It really means a lot that you want to join our community here. Oh geez, I appreciate you so much. For those of you who watch every single one of my videos, I don't even have words. I just really appreciate you, and I hope very soon I can give back some of that appreciation to you all by either sharing the work that you're doing on this channel or just doing some giveaways, different ways that I want to show my appreciation to you, because seriously, I appreciate you all so much. You are the best. So for those of you who are new, welcome again. And my channel has kind of been all over the place. It's a little more than 2 years old now, and when this channel first started, it was a self-help / personal development channel. My goal was to consume personal development resources like books, videos, etc., and then implement their lessons in my life and share them with you guys. My channel sort of is still based on that premise, but it's taken a turn where this is now more of a variety vlog channel. But the underlying theme of my channel is still very much like, let's go along for the ride. Let's see what it looks like when someone goes from being miserable and lost in their life to being whole and generally more satisfied and happy. I don't want to say goes from being miserable to being happy, because happy is not like some place that you reach that you just stay forever. It's more of like a mindset, an attitude, an outlook, I think, that you could practice more often. And honestly, I think I'm getting there. I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm getting there. I went a lot of years without stability in my life, and I'm gaining more stability, which is helping me a lot. And so I do feel the change, and I do feel like my channel is still true to that purpose in some way. But other than that, you're gonna see some tarot card readings, you're gonna see some nonsense, you're gonna see some real talks like this, some check-ins, and hopefully some fun things along the way. So that being said, let's get into this video. Oh, wait, one more thing. Elephant in the room. Yeah, you might have noticed that I changed my hair. It's no longer green, it is black now, and I actually cut it as well because it was pretty long, but it was also really unhealthy. So gotta get rid of all that unhealthy stuff and kind of start fresh, you know? So it'll be a while before I dye my hair another fun color, but until then, you know what? I'm not mad at having black hair. I like it, but I just wanted to address, yes, I did change my hair. So if you see any clips of me with green hair, you know those are slightly older clips and slightly older bits of footage that I got before I dyed my hair. That being said, let's get into this video for real. So, goals for September. I feel like I'm on the fence about goal setting. I feel like on one hand, setting goals helps you to focus and it helps you measure your progress in certain areas. And on the flip side, I feel like it can create a lot of unnecessary pressure and be kind of stifling in a way that you can't just like wake up and authentically follow what your impulses, intuition, and heart is telling you to do. So I have mixed feelings about goals. But that being said, I am going to set goals for this month because I feel like, you know, it's been a little bit over a month since I moved into this new apartment. I have more stability in my life, and I feel like it's time to take that and run with it and see what I can build now that I have stability. So I've set a lot of goals for myself this month. And the first, and I think most important goal, is to focus on my vibration. Yes. What is your vibration? Well, I have a whole video explaining the law of attraction and vibration, which you can watch here, and it's an older video, so bear with me. But in a nutshell, I'll tell you that our vibration basically just consists of the energy that we're putting off, and it's hard to measure your vibration, but what you can measure is your emotions. And your emotions usually tells you what vibration you're putting out. So if you find yourself frustrated, depressed, anxious, upset, you're putting out a lower vibration. If you find yourself more chill, happy, excited, enthusiastic. You're putting out a higher vibration. And you don't even have to be, it's not like you have to be like ecstatic and super hyped. That's great, but I don't think that's necessarily long-term sustainable either. But if you're generally just chill and at peace inside, then that's, chances are you're putting off a high vibration. Now, why does this matter? It matters because your vibration affects your whole life. Like if you're in a low vibration, if you're in a bad mood, if you're anxious, depressed, you know, all of those things, which sometimes we can't help, right? Like I struggle with depression, I struggle with anxiety, so I know like we can't, it's not a choice. And I know all of us who struggle with it, if we could, we would wave a magic wand and get rid of it. I mean, I know I would. But that being said, sometimes we do have control. So we just have to know ourselves, right? And know when we have that power and when we just have to like hang on for the ride and wait for it to be over. But generally when we're in a lower vibration, we are attracting things into our lives that are not so pleasant to us. And generally when we're in a higher vibration, that's when we find our lives clicking. It's like stuff's just working, stuff's just flowing because you're open. You're not blocking yourself with your energy. Lower vibrations create blocks. It's like you're blocking yourself, and that's why it feels so uncomfortable, because you're just blocking yourself from all the good that could be flowing to you, and it's like you feel it on a subconscious energetic level. So that being said, it's hard to control your vibration. Like it's not like we can just turn a dial and be like, I want to vibe higher today. So what we do have control over is our emotions and our thoughts. And it's also hard to control our thoughts because we have so many, which is why the emotions is a really, really important factor in understanding your own vibration. Ask yourself at any given point in time, how am I feeling right now? And be honest with yourself. And if you're feeling, you know, like I said, stressed, anxious, depressed, powerless, anything that's considered a negative emotion, it's not that you should never try to feel them. Be honest with yourself when you are feeling them and process it, but also understand that when you're in it, it's a low vibration, a low frequency. So that being said, my goal, one of my top goals for this month is to focus on my vibration. And when I'm finding myself in these lower frequency emotions and moods, pause and see if I can recalibrate. And sometimes you can do this simply by focusing on gratitude, by shifting your perspective, by changing what you're focusing on, what you're thinking of. And sometimes it's easier than other times, right? Sometimes you can try and it's hard. It's like really hard to pull yourself out of that. But my goal here is to practice this intentionally every day by waking up and focusing on the good things that are in my life, things that I'm excited about, things that, you know, get me hyped, imagining things going how I want them to go versus being afraid that they're gonna go how I don't want them to go. These are all little practices we can do to help raise our vibration on a daily basis. So that is goal number 1, to focus on my vibration and dedicate time each day in the morning to intentionally set myself on a higher vibration, like get myself feeling good. Basically, high vibration just means you feel good in some way, shape, or form. So make myself feel good in the morning. And then throughout the day, if I find myself, you know, slipping into the lower vibrations, collect myself and try to turn it around. Sometimes it's harder. Like I feel like it's harder at work because I get a lot of social anxiety at work, and it's really hard to not have social anxiety when like I'm surrounded by people. Like I try sometimes to be like, you're okay. This is fine. And then really it's harder to turn it around versus like when I'm by myself. But I feel like that's why it's especially important in the morning when I am alone to set that vibration, to set that intention, so I have a baseline to work with for the rest of the day. So that's my number 1 goal. My number 2 goal is actually related, and this is to actively practice more gratitude. And I feel honestly, you probably hear it a lot to the point where it's sickening, but focusing on what you're grateful for or what you're appreciative of is the number 1 thing that can flip your vibration and your mood around. Like even this morning, I think I was starting to slip into like a little anxiety, thinking about this, thinking about that. I think I carry a lot of general anxiety with me. Like I'm just constantly anxious or worried or thinking about the next thing, worrying about what I gotta do next and this and this and that. And it creates anxiety, it creates tension and a little bit of frustration in me that I think is probably like my baseline vibration, which is what I'm trying to change. But then I just started focusing on what I was grateful for and all the things that I was excited about and all the things that were so good in my life, and it completely turned it around for me. But the key to this is it has to be genuine. Like, you can't think about things that you feel like you should be grateful for, but you're not actually feeling grateful for in the moment. Instead, focus on things that actually make you happy, things that you are actually grateful for in the moment, and that helps to shift your mood, turn it around, and help you vibe higher. So my second goal is to actively focus more on gratitude. Again, set some time in the morning to focus on everything that I'm grateful for. Grateful to be alive, grateful for one more day, and carry that with me throughout the day. My other personal goals consist of fitness and health. Now, I can and will actually make a whole video talking about what my fitness journey has been like up to this point. I've shared some of that with you all so far, but if I could just like recap my whole fitness journey, that video is coming. So for now, all I will say is that it's been something that I've been wanting to focus on for a while. It's an issue or an area of my life that has many layers to it. Like, it's not just as easy as like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna start going to the gym, tomorrow I'm gonna start eating healthy. There's like all these layers in terms of like my depression, my anxiety, how I use food to cope, how I have a food addiction. Like, there's all these layers that make it more complicated. But that being said, it's something that I still want to focus on. And it's something that I feel like is really controversial because there's literally people out there who feel offended when other people want to lose weight. And I'm all for body positivity. I'm all for fat acceptance. I'm all for recognizing that fat phobia is a thing in our society and that we need to change the way that we treat fat people and fat members of our society, myself included. But I don't think that anyone who is fat should be offended that somebody else wants to lose weight. Like, that's a whole other thing, and I'm gonna make a video about that. But in the meantime, I just know that losing weight, there's just so many layers to it, both on a personal level for me and on a societal level. But it's something that I want for myself. It really, really is. I know that I was a bit more confident when I was thinner, but at the same time, I know that confidence has to come from within, and it's not about my weight, it's about a mindset, and Lizzo is helping me with that, y'all. So even though I'm gonna start to focus on my fitness and my weight loss, I'm also at the same time focusing on loving me and my body now, which I am. I have loved my body more since I started listening to Lizzo. I know this probably sounds like really, but yeah, it works. Like, for me, she's a queen. Like, she showed me how you can love yourself, you know what I mean, without having to worry about fitting into society's standards. And seeing it firsthand, like, I don't know, it just clicked something in my brain and gave me permission. Like, she basically gave me permission to love myself. I needed it from somebody, I guess, and she gave it to me. So thank you, Lizzo. So yeah, that being said, even though I am loving myself more and my body more, that's a continued thing that I'm gonna have to practice. But even so, I still want to get more fit. I still want to lose weight. And that's for a bunch of personal reasons, which I'll talk about in my other video. But that being said, that is a goal that I have. And specifically, my goal this month is not to lose a certain amount of weight, but instead it's to work out 4 times a week, which I was doing successfully for a while there. For a while there, I was working out like every single day, multiple times a day, which was wild. But for now, I just want to start with 4 times a week because honestly, my motivation to work out is not there right now. But I want to get that motivation back. I want to start enjoying working out again. So 4 times a week is my goal for the month of September. And that's just part of the fitness goal. The other part is food. So eating healthier, staying within a calorie range, like my caloric budget, and drinking more water. These are 3 sub goals in terms of my fitness, like focusing on my fitness. So that's goal number 3. Goal number 4 is to focus on my finances. This is another big area of my life that I could make a whole other video about. I am in debt, and that is a problem. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a whole video about this because it's like, again, an issue with so many layers. But for now, I'll just say that my current goal is to save $500 from my paychecks. And if I stick to my budget and if I don't spend so much money on food like I have been, because, and that see, everything's connected. That feeds into my food addiction and all these other things. But if I stay within my budget, if I don't spend so much money on food, if I'm just really conscious about managing my money, I can actually save $500 from my paychecks. So that is my main goal for this. I will be very happy if I do that. My fifth goal is related to my interests, hobbies, whatever you want to call it, and that is YouTube. So my goal for YouTube this month is to post one video every single day. I know that is a lot. And for those of you who are amazing and watch all of my videos, I appreciate you, but I totally understand if you cannot watch every single video that I upload every day. Why would I be doing this? Well, a couple reasons, just to make it short and sweet. One, I clearly am not a big YouTuber. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. And I've heard from various sources that the more videos you put out, that the higher chance you have of making a banger, you know, making a video that people are gonna find and like and want to subscribe to your channel for. Now that being said, I don't know how much that works for variety channels, vlog channels like mine, because someone might like a video that I made and then come check out my channel and it's just like all over the place. But that being said, I'm still gonna try this anyway because I find when I am more consistent, I do build a little bit more momentum for my channel on the extremely microscopic level that my channel is. But still, I mean, even if it's working, you know, for me, that means like 1 subscriber a week or something for like a short period of time, because, you know, I almost have 300 subscribers though, so thank you all so much for those of you who have subscribed. Like, I'm actually really excited about that. But yeah, so that's one of the main reasons. And the other one is just like more practice, like just getting in the practice of making the videos, of editing. And I know I need to step up my game, both content-wise and production-wise, but in the meantime, just like getting in the practice of it, I think will help me. So I'm planning on uploading 1 video every single day in the month of September. And then I might continue to do that for October and do Vlogtober, but we'll see when we get there. So for now, I'm just uploading 1 video a day to this channel. Goal number 6 is to get myself set up to complete a documentary that I've been working on in October. So if I can finish this documentary by October, I will be so happy, and it will be my first production project that I will have completed and the first thing that I have on my reel. So I'm excited about that, and that is my goal, just to not to finish it in September, but to get myself like equipped and get everything I need to finish it in October. 2 goals left. Finally, my work related goals, which I'm not going to share with you guys because I feel like that would be incredibly boring since I don't even tell you where I work, but just know that things have actually been going really well at work, despite all the anxiety that I had and like a mental breakdown that I had recently and my fear of getting fired that I had recently, which actually wasn't a recent fear. It was a fear that I had had basically since I got hired at this job because it's so good. I'm afraid to lose it. But that fear is slowly subsiding because I feel like I'm becoming more and more integrated in the company. I feel like the dedication that I have is paying off. It is showing. My metrics came up, I'm meeting my standards, I'm meeting my quotas, woo! Basically, my goal for work is just to have a huge impact on 3 projects that I'm a part of and maintain good metrics. So that actually requires a lot for me, like focus. I have to actually care and focus at work. Point is, work, of course, is a factor because it's what gives me a lot of my stability, and it's going to help me meet my financial goals. And if I have the opportunity to get a raise in a couple of months, then I really need to give it my all. Also, even though I don't share with you guys where I work, I have to say I'm like really proud of where I work. It's actually a pretty cool spot, and for what I do, it's actually kind of awesome to know that I'm a part of this big company that has such a huge impact on people's lives. So yeah, it's actually awesome. And my last goal, and these goals are not in order of importance, they're just in order of like how I decided to share them. But my last goal is actually focusing on my relationships, which is an area that I have been working on, an area that I still have a lot of room for growth. So relationships, that's a huge area because there's so many different types of relationships in your life, right? And I'm working on the relationship with myself first and foremost, but that kind of goes into all my other goals that I've already talked about. But breaking down relationships, first, it's my relationship that I have with my partner, my boyfriend, Jeff, as you all may have known his name by now. I don't want to sugarcoat anything, and I don't talk about my relationship at all on this channel because I feel like I don't want to do my laundry in the streets, as they say. But I think I do want to make a video about that soon, not sharing too much personal information about him or like our relationship, but just kind of talking about relationships in general and how they require work. Like they require work and they require growth and they require understanding. Like I feel like we live in such a throwaway culture where we just throw people away super easy. Where it's like if things aren't going perfectly, it's just like, well, I'm out of here. And I totally get that. And I respect that if that's, you know, what people need to do. You have to set boundaries and you have to do what's best for you. But being in this relationship now for 4 years and seeing how we're growing and how our relationship is evolving, and I'm gonna be honest with you, we've had a lot of like rough patches. Like we've gone through some hard times together, and it's mostly because we both have like our own issues, and it's like, how do our issues come together and create like additional issues? But we don't fight. Like actually I should make a whole video about this, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Like not fighting is not good. It means like we're avoiding, like we are both on the avoidance end of the spectrum, which is also like not good because it creates a lot of like you internalize stuff and it can create resentment or like other types of things. But point is, we've been working on our relationship intentionally and things are so much better now. Like it actually makes me really happy to be able to say, because you know, when things are hard and when things are rough, you're not really sure how they're going to turn out, and you can get advice from other people and people might have their opinions on what you should do, but at the end of the day, it's between you and that other person, you know? And I'm really proud to say that we've come as far as we have and we've made all the progress that we've made. And so working on my relationship is something that I want to continue to do this month. And my end of it is to focus on having a positive perspective, which has helped a lot, and keep working on myself. And validate myself. Like I feel like a lot of my insecurities come from me wanting validation from other people and needing validation from other people. And Lizzo, I gotta bring her up again, has kind of taught me that like you have to validate yourself. And I always knew that, but I never knew how. And like I said, I don't know what it is about her, but just seeing her, hearing her music, watching her music videos, something clicked. It's like, just give yourself the validation. Just love yourself. Give yourself permission to like be enough. Like that's it. You don't need it from anybody else, you know? And in fact, when you give it to yourself, you see it reflected back to you. But when you don't validate yourself, when you're insecure, when you invalidate yourself, you also see that reflected back to you from other people. So really it all just comes from within. So working on my relationships, my sub goal is to continue to validate myself, to work on myself and do things that make me feel validated so that I can come to the relationship as a whole person instead of coming to the relationship looking for someone to make me whole, which I didn't think that I was. But now that I'm starting to give myself validation, I realize, whoa, no, I really was. I was looking to somebody else to validate me, you know, and that's a hard thing because even if you were to leave a relationship, you're gonna keep doing that. You're gonna keep having that pattern with other people. So until you learn to validate yourself, it's gonna follow you everywhere. Because let's say you get in a relationship with somebody who's super validating. Like let's say they make you feel incredible, but all your validation comes from them. So what if one day they decide to leave? What if one day they decide to leave you? And then what? Then you're left feeling like totally invalidated. Then you're left feeling like worthless because the place that you were getting your validation from is now telling you that you're not, you know, worthy in a sense. So it has to come from within. Like true validation comes from you, and it literally doesn't matter what anybody else is thinking, saying, or doing to you. It has to come from you. You know what I mean? So that's number one. And the second thing is communicating, because the other thing I realized is like, it's really not fair to expect somebody to like kind of read your mind. You know, it's like not fair to expect somebody to meet your needs when they don't know what your needs are, you know? And so that's another thing. So communicating, which is hard for me because it's hard for me to be vulnerable. Like, I feel like I'm pretty vulnerable here on YouTube, but in reality, like in my relationships, it's hard. It's really hard for me to be vulnerable. I don't like to need people. I don't like to depend on people. I don't like to ask people or tell people like what I need, but I'm working on it. I'm working on my communication, and it's making such a huge difference. And I can honestly say that I'm really happy in my relationship now, which is funny because even if you asked me a few weeks ago, I was struggling, you know, but it wasn't really, at the end of the day, it didn't have anything to do with my relationship. It had to do with my relationship with me, you know, honestly, it really did. And now that that's improving, everything in my life feels 1,000 times better. It's a work in progress still. I'm not saying, woo, I waved a magic wand and I'm instantly like, you know, in a perfect relationship with myself. It's a day-to-day thing, you know? It's like, you just gotta take it day by day, moment by moment. But the more you can everything's a practice. The more you can practice validating yourself, being your own best friend, the more the rest of your life works and makes sense. So that's all I'll say about that. And then as far as other relationships go, because it's obviously not just your romantic relationships, but family, friends, I know I need to work on those more. I know I need to be better. I know I need to be there more for the people in my life and hang out with people more. But really, it's just like I've been working so hard on trying to build this foundation for myself, and I feel like it's barely starting to come together. So I think that my other relationships will also kind of fall into place. Like, I will have more time, I will have more energy for other people once I'm healed. And again, I don't know if that's like really a place that you get to. I don't know if you ever just become healed, but when when my cup feels full, because my cup has felt empty and dry for so long, because I've been giving everything I have to other people, including giving a shit about what they think. Like, when you care about what people think, you're giving your energy to them. You're giving your perspective to them, your focus to them. And I was giving everything away in good and bad ways. And my cup was dry. And I thought it's because nobody was giving to me, when in reality, people have been trying to give to me. But one, I wouldn't let them, but it's also because I wasn't giving to myself. And that's number one. You have to fill your own cup. I know it sounds cliche, I know it sounds cheesy, but you really have to fill your own cup. And so I'm still working on filling my cup. I feel like it's definitely more full than it was. I feel like it used to be bone ass dry for a long time, for a lot of years. But I wouldn't even say it's halfway full. I feel like it's maybe a quarter of the way full, but I know it's full. It's got something in there now. I could feel it. And once my cup is more full, I feel like I'll have more to give to my relationships, more time, more energy, more everything. But for right now, I'm still trying to fill my cup that's been empty for a really long time. But this month, I do want to try to be a better friend and try to set more time aside for my relationships as much as I can without depleting what I have in my cup completely again. So that being said, this is a much longer video than I thought. Of course, I'm going to edit it and hopefully it will be a bit more hopefully it will be more reasonable in length. But if you watch this whole thing, thank you for caring, thank you for watching, and I hope that, you know, something was helpful to you, something was uplifting or resonated. And if so, let me know in the comments below what that is, or let me know what your goals for September are. All right, because we're all in it. We're all in it to win it, or we're just all in it to be in it. I'm not very competitive. I don't really give a shit about winning. I really just care about having a good time and feeling good about what I did. So, cop out maybe, I don't know, but that's the truth. Okay, so anyways, I'm sending all of you so much love. These were my goals for September. And this is what I'm going to be updating on, vlogging about, trying to get done as a bring you all along for this wild, wild ride. Sending you all love. I hope you have an amazing week.